we all noticed. My son loves baseball, and he just noticed that there was something not right recently. The way I put this together, if I put my Dr. House hat on, is he probably has what's called a venous thoracic outlet syndrome, where he developed a clot in the vein, all right, in the shoulder area.
It's a huge blow. I mean, their best chance at the World Series was to dominate game one and game two on a starting pitching front, and kind of do that rinse and repeat throughout the postseason each series. And it's awfully tough to Sanchez is great, but behind him, even if you think Ranger Suarez gets back to what he was at the beginning of the season, those next three slots leave a lot to be desired right now.
Again, we just had Dr. Mike on from Fox 29, Dr. Mike Srigliano, and he's like, listen, our treatment is 3 months. Now, I know the Lillard thing, that was his leg. This is his shoulder. I doubt we're going to see Zach in the postseason. And so let's get that out of the way because, of course, we wish the best for Zach and his family.
And, the Zack Wheeler news is, obviously deeply troubling on a personal level. You have anybody that has a blood clot, it's like a life issue. He's got to think of himself and his family health. And then, once you kind of wrap your mind around that whole situation, then you go, okay, how does this affect the baseball team? And now they kind of are left to try to figure out how they're going to solve that, possibly, probably, moving forward without having quite literally one of the top 5 pitchers in all of Major League Baseball in your rotation, moving forward on a team that's, trying to win a World Series. So that's kind of where they're at right now. And a strength of this team pretty much all season has been its rotation. And as you kind of look at the rotation right now, obviously you see a lot of cracks in that foundation, besides just, even aside from what's going on with Zack Wheeler. Take Zach completely out of the equation.
Oh, yeah. A lot of questions.
And you see a lot of questions with what's going on.
I want to go through each and every one of the starters with you, but what's the next step with Zach? He's going to get, obviously, a battery of tests, and they'll come up with a treatment program. And is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So he's in Philly today and Monday, and he's going to get more tests, and they're going to come up with some sort of treatment plan and have a better sense of kind of where he stands and where things go from here. But obviously we understand the gravity of this situation, and just the fact that post game on Saturday, you had Dave Dombrowski delivering the injury news, and you had the Phillies head athletic trainer Paul Buchheit right next to him talking about it, tells you how serious of a situation this is. I mean, I can think of one time, maybe I'm missing one or two, but I can think of one time in the past 3 or 4 seasons when Dave Dombrowski has offered an injury update immediately after a game or during a game, and that was when Bryce Harper broke his thumb in San Diego a couple years ago when Blake Snell hit him with a pitch. Dave talked in game about that to us in San Diego, and I can count on maybe 3 fingers the amount of time Paul Buchheit has been quoted or given an interview. I mean, he's usually behind the scenes, so the fact that he again was giving an update on this tells you how serious of a situation it is.
Totally. I mean, we had Dr. Mike Srigliano on from the University of Pennsylvania, and look, the treatment is blood thinners, and that's usually a 3-month ordeal. So,
right,
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine him coming back at all. That you desperately need a right-handed starter, and Nola, that gives me no hope after watching him yesterday.
No.
I mean, he just may be cooked. This is what it is.
Yeah, it's sad, and I think that's where you need to get creative. Look, you've got. I think we talked about this last time, where maybe Aaron Nola, if you told him, look, Nola, you're going to give us 3 innings one time through the order from now on, and then say the same thing to Luzardo, say the same thing to Walker, whatever. Like, you try to put it together. I think that's what with a 6 or 7 game lead in the division, you can kind of spend the next 5 weeks trying to figure out what you're going to do. And I think Rob, to his credit, has started to do that in the outfield a little bit, where he's like, look, you know, if these guys aren't comfortable playing every other day, I'm gonna have to use this month to get them comfortable playing every other day, because we're gonna play matchups in the postseason, and these guys got to get used to it, you know. So I'm gonna start mixing and matching, and maybe he has to do the same thing with the starters. The one guy everyone's talking about Painter, but the one guy I'd like to see them call up is a kid named Gene Cabrera, who's at
Yeah.
double batting. He's on the 40 man. I mean, he was actually lined up with Wheeler. He threw 6 no-hit innings 2 Wheeler starts ago, and they pulled him after 59 pitches. Struggled a little bit the last time out, but I mean, his changeup is a really, really pretty filthy pitch. And he's been throwing strikes. He struggled a lot with walks early in the season, but something clicked, and his command has been, you know, at least of the strike zone has been great since then. And he's got stuff that pops. He reminds me a little bit of Bastardo. He's kind of case in point of a guy where you just call him up and see what happens. You know.
What do you do moving forward? I mean,
So
they
let's-
still have a lot of talented guys in there, but you got to figure it out.
All right, so let's look at it. So got Sanchez, who is your now ace. After Sanchez, let's look at Ranger, who's going to go tonight against Logan Gilbert, right? He has 3rd year in a row, great start, fall off the table. What are they saying? What's up with Ranger?
Yeah, it's confusing because, you know, last year he got off to that unbelievable start, and it was like his first spring training where he was healthy and he came out of the gate firing, and you know, then they made the argument in the offseason, like, listen, we're really gonna, and they made the point in spring training this year. They said, listen, we're really going to keep an eye on Ranger going into the season, because, you know, he tailed off in the second half, and maybe, you know, so we're going to keep an eye on it. But he started the season on the injured list. And so there's kind of less of the argument of, man, maybe we kind of wore him down too much too soon, and he had this really incredible workload or whatever. That doesn't really hold as much weight right now. So it's kind of confusing that he is struggling like he has been. So it's kind of a mystery to me why he's struggling as much.
I think who knows? You got Christopher Sanchez, who's as good as Wheeler right now in game 1. You've got Suarez, who can be as good as Sanchez in game 2. Can be.
I still think I'd throw Luzardo, not Ranger, in game 2.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, they have
I don't believe in Ranger. Ranger is a half a season pitcher to me. I said that to you before.
No, I'm with you, but it's weird because he's always pitched well in the postseason then when he gets called upon, you know? So he's the most, I'm with you. Like, it's baffling to me where this is 3 straight years now where it's the same exact pattern where he's you know, legitimately one of the top arms in the National League for 10 or 11 starts, and then he disappears to the point where Rob has no confidence in him to start him during a postseason game. But then when he does end up having to throw him out there, he does well. So I don't know. Look, I think the odds are against them. I think the odds would have been against them with Wheeler. I think you know, it's a shame, but I can't rule him out any more than I was.
No, I mean, I'm with you. It's baseball, and who knows? Maybe you know, maybe the lineup there's such a different team when the bottom half of the lineup is hitting, right? Like when you're getting Stott and Marsh and those kids are hitting, you know, JT maybe, like who knows? And they're so infectious that they all start to hit, you know?
Yeah. I know the Brewers are playing for Bob Uecker, but I guess the Phillies are playing for Zack Wheeler now, you know? Yeah. So it's, you know, don't count that out. It's you never know. Like, look, nobody would have in 2022. Nobody believed in this team right up until the middle of September. You know, and I remember distinctly people saying, "I hope they don't even make the postseason because I'm tired of watching this team." You know, so you just have no idea. I'm with you. I mean, I think it's going to take. Look, it's going to take some compensation from the lineup, and you're going to need, like you said, one of Stott, Marsh, and whoever, Castellanos.
A good sign from Bohm, the power yesterday. Now, if you can get Bohm, I was talking to Charlie during the game. We were talking, and he's like, man, if he could just hit that inside pitch, that's his power pitch.